Hello everyone and welcome back to my Dwarf Fortress Masterwork mod Let's Play. Last time we went over a perfect world in sound sense as well as some Masterwork settings. This time we're going to actually get into the game a little bit, go over how to start out. I'm going to try to keep these episodes a little bit shorter than the last one or ones. Try to keep them closer to 20 minutes. So we'll see how much we can cover in that amount of time. So we're going to play Masterwork Dwarf Fortress. We're going to, if you've only generated one map, they're numbered in order. So region 1, I've generated quite a few because I've been playing with various map types. And the map we generated last time is region 11. Then we're going to play in Dwarf Fortress mode. This FPS counter up here, 150 is, this number is the game, how fast the game is running, and the number in parentheses is the visual updates. You can change that in the settings as well, somewhere. Here. FPS counter. It's fine how it is though. Just wanted to point that out. Now then, this is the map of the whole world. It's kind of squished in here. This is kind of zoomed in a little bit. And this is zoomed in. That little tile that our cursor is on is this whole area. So the ratio between this and this depends on how large the map you generated is. But this is always the same. One tile always equals one box here. Now then, it does look a little bit weird because like I said, we're using a tile set that replaces the default characters with these images, and some of the characters are serving double duty on this map and in the game. So we have these cities here look like statues, these look like wells or hives or other things like that. But these little red things here, these are the volcanoes that we generated. The lighter color ones, those are peaks. So just notable mountain peaks. If we highlight one, we can see this is the curled axe. And there's shallow metals and deep metals. And it's temperate, there's no trees, there's thick other vegetation, and it's untamed wilds, so that's neutral and the high savagery. The purple stuff is evil regions, so that one's haunted, terrifying, more haunted, and there's probably some sinister around here somewhere. The yellow stuff is good reasons, so mirthful, joyous wilds, and serene. Everything else is neutral. These are rivers, as are the dark blue ones, as are these. They're different size rivers. So this one is a stream. This one is a minor river. Then down here is a plain river. And you can get freshwater lakes and other stuff depending on exactly how you generate your map. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to press F to find a desired location. This is the X and Y dimension of this little box here. It's how big of an area of this subset it looks in. By default, it's 4x4. We're going to leave the search on 3x3. It makes it a little bit harder for it to find what we're looking for, but it the default for this mod is 3x3. It increases performance the smaller your area is. The bigger your area is, the more pathfinding the dwarves have to do, and the harder it is for them. Harder it is on your computer. Like I said, this is an older game. It doesn't use multi-cores or multi-threading or any of that newer stuff. So it runs quite a bit slower than you would expect for something like this. once you get lots and lots going on, because there are quite a lot of calculations happening behind the scenes, as it is, like I said, a simulator. It doesn't pretend something, it actually simulates the physics of it. So let's look for so we can have the savagery and evil, elevation, temperature, rain, drainage. Those are all the things that we set. Flux-stone. Flux-stone is a material that you need to make steel. You mix iron with flux-stone to get pig iron, iron, and I think flux-stone again to get steel. Steel is in vanilla Dwarf Fortress pretty much your best, well, it's technically the second best, but it's the best mass producible weaponry and armor, so you tend to be very reliant on it. There are some ways you can make it without having flux-stone, but that makes it much more difficult. Unfortunately, this search thing, the way this works, was changed a few versions ago, and it hasn't quite been updated properly. There's flux-stone where it says there isn't, because there's multiple types of flux-stone. There will be marble, much lower than the ground, and it just simply, let's see, we'll do yes just to show you, and it will simply be under how deep it looks, basically. But there's a trick I can show you to help you figure that out if you're actually going to have marble or not. Aquifer, we turn that off, so that's not applicable. River, like I said, I'd like to have a river. Having a river allows fishing, for one. Fishing is a very good source of food, and in this mod, it's also a very good source of armor. In Vanilla Dwarf Fortress, it's a good source of crafts, though trading is not as important in Vanilla Dwarf Fortress as it is in this mod. Shallow metals, we want lots of metals. So, we'll pick the sites. Clay, you kind of want clay. Clay and sand are kind of special resources. Most things you have to either chop down a tree or dig out a tile to get the stuff that's there. For clay and sand, what you do is you need to have exactly, or at least one block, one tile of that type on the map somewhere, and then your dwarfs can gather an infinite amount of clay from a single clay block, a single clay tile, infinite amount of sand from a single sand tile. That gives you quite a lot of extra materials to build with that you can use kind of the less important stuff that you don't want to use some of your more valuable materials for, or if you there's not enough trees for you to build things out of wood, you don't have enough stone to build everything out of stone, you can use glass and clay to build a few things and help alleviate the strain on your supplies. You can get by without them, but I like having them myself, and they tend to be around rivers anyway. I could probably get away with just leaving it not applicable, but I'm going to do enter and do search. So the red stuff, that means that it has not found anything. If it finds something, there'll be green X's. Right here, it's found a very few spots that has what I'm looking for, or what I specified. So if we use the arrow keys to go up, actually we need to browse the results. I always forget to do that. But arrow keys, and it's going to center it on the area that it's picked for you. And you can tell this is a brook. Brooks are kind of special. Unlike rivers, they have this kind of covering that means you can walk over them. And you have to actually dig through the covering to get to the water underneath if you want to kind of like pump it out or something. It's a little weird, but basically brooks are water sources that you can walk over. You may have to break through the top of them to get to the water if you want to use it for some kind of project. But down here you can see view biomes. If you played Minecraft, you kind of have a pretty good idea what a biome is. So this is one biome. If we press F2, we get the other biome. That's where Fluxstone is. But there's only one metal here. There's also clay and very deep soil. Now then, let's go to the other choices. It's going to probably be, yes, the same biome. Then again, the same thing. Here, this is actually, we're into haunted territory right there. Very dangerous. A little bit of Fluxstone though. And it's like more of the same. It's like that whole biome is just spread out there. But that is one way we can search. Another way is we could just look around manually. A third way, whoops, let's see, we're going to clear the find results. Oh, and you can have like lots of biomes. So we have 3 here. We can have quite a few. And then we're going to do another find desired location. We're going to turn off the flux requirement. And we'll see how that goes. So we definitely want metals, we want a river, and we want some clay. How many spaces like that? Pretty much the whole map, probably. We have minerals set very, very high on this map. By default, they're set very, very high with this pre-generated thing. And you probably want them very, very high given the challenges you're going to face. So that means that a lot of places fit these requirements. And since we have rivers so high, also a lot of places fit that requirements. Pretty much the whole map, it looks like it's a kind of river. So this is a very wet area. There's either a river, a stream, a brook, something. So what I'm going to do is look around. And if I can't find my thing, so I'm going to clear the browse results. Because all this flashing is going to give somebody a seizure or something. Clear find results. It's the whole map. I don't really need to be that specific. So we will. Alright, we're way over here. I was thinking that was. Never mind, don't worry about me. Let's just pick, I don't know, somewhere right around here. We'll say. Bad thing is we don't auto center since we cleared the results. Whoops. Don't mean to do that. You have to move the local area with the UMKH keys. I don't know why he uses those. You can resize the local area with capital UMKH. So you can change this to 4x4 if you decide you want to do that. I may want to. We'll see. So if we move this, we have 2 biomes. Both of these have multiple metals. That's good. The more biomes you have, they can each have different types of multiple metals. So yeah, that's pretty good. And this is wilderness and calm also. Okay. And we have what, a stream? So what we can do is when you start a Dwarf Fortress, you probably notice this. This is part of, it's kind of a separate mod that's included with this mod. But it's a utility that allows you to edit a number of things, a modding utility mostly. But it also has a number of plugins that help with the micromanaging of the game a lot, a great deal. And a few sort of pseudo cheat and flat out cheat tools, which are mostly intended for modders. But one of them that you can use for yourself is go here and just type prospect at this screen once you have your site settled. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you an estimate, a rough estimate. So we have clay, sand, peat, sandstone, granite, schist, diorite. We do have marble, but it's very deep. So from levels 37 to 80. Genesis, Gabriel. But we do have lots of marble. So that tells us there is going to be Fluxstone there, but we're going to have to dig to it. Means we won't start out with Fluxstone, but we won't be completely without it. And the way we set up this map, the whole map should probably have marble. Because the other thing is the volcanic glider. pretty much. I don't think there are very many other layers. There may or may not be. I would have to look that up, but I'm not going to. We could also press tab to change the mode, and we can look at various screens here. Neighbors. Dwarves, frost giants, warlocks, drow, automatons, goblins, elves, and orcs. Red lines mean that they are aggressive. They don't like you. Another option is it could say war, which means you're actively at war. I've had that happen before. I don't know what causes that though. I think it's something in the history generation. But it's pretty interesting when it happens. These are your civilizations. So if we move this cursor, whoops, no, what? Which one is it? Not that one either. Oh yeah, plus or minus. Plus or minus. And you can see, there's little balloon guys moving around. The number of these little people statues is how large the civilization is. You probably want to pick the biggest one for your civilization. The huts of connection would be the biggest one on this map. Then tab again, and this is the elevation. So this is kind of medium-ish elevation down to low. The next thing is how steep the cliffs are. This is sort of important. If you build into the side of a mountain, and there's a ledge over your kind of open entrance area, bad guys can walk on top of that ledge and shoot down into your fort. So, but at the same time, you may want to settle up against a sheer cliff so that you can dig into the mountain right away. And if it's very, very sheer, like more than the extreme cliffs between these two, the maximum range you can shoot is like 15 straight down. But that's like literally straight down, so you can shoot 14 down and 1 over is you can hit 1 tile, something like that. But you might want a little hill, a mountain, or something to dig inside of, into the side of, or you may want plains, and this gives you not only an elevation but the change in elevation. It's pretty important. I like looking at this. And if we go to where our volcanoes are, you'll notice volcanoes have very steep, very, very, very steep area. This can be a problem because they may not be anywhere for you to put your caravan when you start the game. There's a minor glitch, or well, sort of minor. You can actually die if there's nowhere for you to land. But it won't let you embark where you can't actually embark. So you see the E's grayed out, unless there is somewhere that you can actually place the caravan. So if we move this around, or it might be that this is a city. Oh, this is all mountains, that's why. Can't live here. We cannot live here. It's inhospitable. Let's check one of the more nicer volcanoes. Like over here, this one right by the river. So again, very, very sheer, and we can embark here, but we're going to have like sheer cliffs. So what I'm going to do is look around and see if I can find a good place, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So right here you can see there's a volcano. It's right next to the stream here, at least close enough that we can get the stream. And if we press tab, you can see that there's not much of a hill around it. The volcano must be like very close to the surface. Yeah, it looks like it. Very interesting. I don't see that very often. And if we look at prospect, bam, we have marble that is right near the surface. We're actually very high up. Unfortunately, there's no sand or clay. That's kind of a deal breaker for what I wanted to do this with this fort. So I looked around a little bit more, though I have marked this in case I want to come back and maybe try it later, because it does look like a very nice place. Having access to lava right off is quite powerful. It also carries some risk with it. Sometimes there's stuff that lives in the lava that, you know, if lava doesn't hurt them, you're going to be hard pressed to as well. They also might, you know, inflame you. So let's see, notes here. This place is, let's see, how do I escape this? Okay. There's a temperate conifer forest there. Temperate broadleaf forest. Also untamed wilds. And a wilderness forest, which is also broadleaf. So we got a convergent of 3 biomes over a river. I did increase the size to 4x4 to get all 3. I remember the last map that I had 3x3. I had a bit of a trouble. I felt a little bit squeezed in when it came towards sieges, and I want a bit of room to build some dwarven engineering. So this is actually, I like this place. We get our river, we get some challenging areas, but not too challenging. And if things get really, really bad, we can also always retreat over to this only wilderness, and we should be safer. But if that happens, we're probably already lost. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to press E here to embark. You have selected a large area. Choose a smaller area if you experience lag. Now then, do not click play now. You can use any of these templates if you want. You can prepare for the journey carefully, which gives you kind of a generic bunch of crap. Some of it's good, some of it isn't. You can... These templates are further described in the manual that we have open. Of course. Right here. Embark profiles. So there's one especially for new players if you want to try that. But what we're going to do is we're going to prepare for the journey carefully. Actually, we're going to use an empty template, because I don't want a whole bunch of random crap. I have these orc ones and kobold ones. You can, in this mod, play as different races than dwarves. I haven't tried them. I don't know how well they are. Now then, you get this screen. So you get 7 dwarves to start off with. Yes, 7. You get this many points down here. You can spend up to 10 skills in each of your 7 dwarves. And each time you spend a skill, the cost increases by 1. So, and you can't go over 5 in a given skill. And you can also, if you press tab, you get pets. And if you press new, in for new, you get all kinds of different items that you can take, and you can see their cost. There's so many different strategies for how to do this, but I'm going to tell you what mine is. So first off, we want to take care of the skills. The skills are kind of important. We want our dwarves to be useful when they get there. And it's also going to give us an opportunity. Actually, let me check the time on this before we get too much further. It looks like we've hit the 20-minute mark already. I kind of want to figure this out today, but this is going to take a while to explain. So we're going to end this here, and when we come back, I will explain how to pick your first starting dwarves, and we should get to the starting point, I hope. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.